An improved iHeartRadio app. From the Ingalls studio, this is WROO-FM Malden, 104.9 Fox Sports Upstate. We are Fox Sports! And here's what you need to know.
Coming up tonight, the end of the wild card weekend in the NFL. The Texans, winners of 9 straight, play at Pittsburgh. Tonight's winner goes to New England Sunday for the divisional playoffs. New England star defensive back Christian Gonzalez is in concussion protocol. Former Ravens head coach John Harbaugh interviewed with the Falcons today after chatting with the Giants yesterday. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford will play this Sunday at Chicago despite a sprained index finger. Bills wide receiver Gabe Davis suffered a torn ACL yesterday. College football's national title game is a week from tonight, Indiana at Miami. Quarterback Dylan Raiola is transferring from Nebraska to Oregon. Arizona State QB Sam Leavitt will reportedly transfer to LSU. In the NBA, Utah led at Cleveland 21-4 in the first quarter. It's now mid-second quarter, the Jazz leading 50-43 against the Cavaliers. I'm Steve DeSager.
It's a new year, and Aleve is here to help you keep your New Year's resolutions on track. Whether it's a daily walk, hitting the gym, or spending more time with friends and family, Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you moving with long-lasting body pain relief so you can chase those dreams and achieve your goals. Don't let body pain slow you down. Keep going with Aleve, because this year is your year. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Rock icons unleashed and on stage.
What song is it you want to hear?
Introducing iHeartRadio's Classic Rock Live.
What a wonderful evening.
Your front row pass to rock's most iconic live recordings, all commercial free.
You in the jungle, baby!
Hear the boss sing to the rafters.
Go out there!
Zeppelin set the stage on fire.
Jimmy Page, guitar.
And feel AC/DC bring the house down.
We got some black and black for you, right?
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Classic Rock Live, and make it a preset now.
The games are over, so there's only one thing left to do: overreact. The NFL Draft Nerd is here to weave through the world of sports and separate fact from fiction. Get involved. The call-in line's open at 864-240-5480. You can tweet us, we don't call it X, at the NFL Draft Nerd. Now, here's that creed-loving, bird-fearing, football lunatic, Jeremy Greene.
It's a wild card weekend. We're still playing playoff football. It's been wild. He's Trey Falco. I'm Jeremy Greene. This is Overtime, brought to you by Ingalls Markets. Find them online at ingles-markets.com. Ingalls Markets, low prices, love the savings. Mr. Falco, how are you feeling this fine Monday evening? We have the plastic one himself, Mr. Troy Nathaniel Aikman, and Joseph Buck prepared to call your Pittsburgh Steelers and the Houston Texans.
You know, I haven't actually seen the art that you've made of me, but in your description of it, I feel like it's probably a pretty accurate portrayal of where I'm sitting right now.
Oh, it's beautiful. It is indeed. We call them our fat babies. There's one of me. Yeah. There's one of Tank Spencer, and now we have one of Trey. And ChatGPT has learned Trey, so well that it has his face down to a T.
The face was pretty good, yeah, at least on the Santa one I saw.
He's decked out in Pittsburgh Steeler gear. In the background, you can see it is 20-17 Houston Texans over the Pittsburgh Steelers with 8 seconds to go in the 8th quarter. You got everything right except the easiest part. That part you boo-booed. Because there are not 8 quarters in anything but $2. So ChatGPT, it's so close. You got just right there, but you boo-booed it. We are on an accelerated time schedule tonight, so phone lines are open. 864-240-5480. That's 864-240-5480. If you want to get involved on the text line, it's 864-777-9593. Tonight we are going to have to move quickly. We lost the first hour of the show because we had stuff happening. We already have a caller, so Trey Falco, let's get into it. Caller, line 1, who is this?
How's it going, Jeremy? This is Randy.
Hey, Randy, how are you?
I'm all right. I am getting prepared to watch this. I'm calling you, and then I'm going to turn the game on. But I'm obviously my Patriots are going to play the winners of this game. I think it might be Houston, but I really hope it's Pittsburgh. I just think there would be a real revenge game factor and that sort of thing. They'd really want to prove they were better than Pittsburgh, and the first game against them was just a fluke, you know.
That is a really good point. Randy is one of our resident New England Patriots fans. New England coming off a incredibly impressive victory last night. If I'm New England, I'm not worried about either one of these teams because I don't think either one of them can beat New England. This just has the feeling of one of you is the pig that's being led to slaughter.
Right.
I like it. So listen, I have a kind of a draft-related take or question for you here. I know I had mentioned earlier on your show about Will Campbell, and you had indicated that you were still pretty high on him after the season and so forth, right?
Absolutely.
And I also am very pleased with his performance. I think he's been great. Now, that does not mean that I still think that he should ultimately probably slide into left guard. And I think that drafting him and having him play left tackle where he's been has raised the floor of this offensive line. But I think that in order to really raise the ceiling in coming years, they're going to have to eventually get kind of a prototypical, 84-inch wingspan guy you can put on an island, slide Campbell into left guard, Wilson to center, and I think that would be a great foundation for an offensive line for the future. And I think no matter which team wins this, by the way, there's the potential of that kind of being highlighted by their pass rushers.
We appreciate the call from Randy, and I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit. And I'm really glad you said that. So, Trey, this is your first season with me.
It is, yes.
You're learning that for me, in the pantheon of football, there's the NFL draft, and then there's about a 10-foot drop to the actual games, which I love, but they don't get the attention from me that the draft does. They dubbed me the draft guy for a reason. And then pretty much an 8-mile drop, and there's everything else. So
that checks out so far from what I've gathered.
I am in North Carolina doing this show tonight, just making sure all of our on-the-road things work. They didn't the first time we did this. They seem to be working great tonight.
Yes.
Because 2 weeks from now, I will be doing this show in Dallas, Texas. The week after that, I will be doing this show in Mobile, Alabama, because we'll be at the Shrine Bowl, and then we'll be at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
I want to, and I could not stop thinking about this over the course of this weekend. I hear every draft season we talk about the arm length on tackles. We talk about the 40 time of wide receivers. We talk about the bench reps for defensive tackles. I could keep doing this, but I think you get my point.
Yeah.
I'm going to go game by game and tell you the best player in every one of these games on each side. We had Puka Nacua for the Los Angeles Rams, a receiver that half the teams in the league didn't even have on their board because he was too slow. He doesn't look too slow to me.
He looks fine to me.
On the other side, we had Jalen Coker for your Carolina Panthers, who we're going to talk about here in a little bit. Absolutely nothing to be ashamed of for the hometown Panthers. He was too slow, couldn't separate, and outside of an outrageously good performance in the Hula Bowl, basically was an afterthought in the draft process. Then you go into the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. You had Jordan Love that had $1 million arm and a 10-cent brain. These are I pulled every one of these off profiles of things that names you would recognize told me about players that had a real effect on games this weekend. Best offensive player for the Chicago Bears, Colston Loveland. You know what I heard about him last year? Oh, he can't block. He can't block. He's not even really a tight end. I'm sure I'd take him in the first round, but most likely he's just going to end up being a move tight end in the league. Eight catches, 137 yards in the biggest game of his life. Josh Allen was a big athletic quarterback that played a low level of competition and was never going to amount to anything because he wasn't accurate enough. Parker Washington for the Jacksonville Jaguars was too small. He was fast, but he couldn't really run routes, didn't have great hands. Brock Purdy was too small to play quarterback in the NFL. Yep. Maybe you get the point I'm trying to make here. Drake May, who I believe will be your NFL MVP at NFL Honors here in 3 weeks, he was too inaccurate. Made too many bad decisions, too many interceptions. If when I die, I have made what I'm getting ready to say a common belief around the NFL and around the football world, stop worrying about the measurables. Can a guy play football? Yes or no? Puka Nacua was an absolute afterthought. He's probably the best receiver in the NFL. You know why? Because Sean McVay has a system that wants a very specific kind of player. We see the Carolina Panthers go up against them, and look, Carolina gave them everything they could have ever wanted and more. The LA Rams have 53 guys that fit into a spot in that offense. It is up and down the roster. Guys that some teams would probably not even roster. But they have a spot for the Los Angeles Rams because they know who they are. And that is my tale to the Carolina Panthers this week. Carolina, this was an overachieving season. You had a quarterback that you had to make a decision on. He's too small. He can't see over the line. He goes 8-9, but they win the division. It's not a good division. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are aging like milk. The Atlanta Falcons are looking for a new head coach for what feels like the 15th time in 20 years.
Yep.
And the New Orleans Saints are still a year away because they're in absolute cap hell. What you have to find is your identity. Because Carolina played well. They should have been blown off the field by the Rams. If you watched the first 3 quarters and you couldn't see the scoreboard, you would have assumed the Rams were up by 3 scores, but they weren't. But then the rubber met the road. You gave Matthew Stafford the ball back, a former number 1 pick in the NFL draft, one of the biggest arm quarterbacks in NFL history, an absolute legend in our game. And Matt Stafford knows exactly who he is. So we get that 2-minute drill, which actually wound up being about a 3.5-minute drill. And Matthew Stafford knew where he was going. He was surgical, and it was precise. Carolina gets the ball back with 3 timeouts in, 50 seconds? They had no identity. You throw 3 passes to an undrafted free agent that had been a part of the game plan the entire night. You can take all of the good from this that you can. The next step of the evolution of the Carolina Panthers, you have to figure out who you are. Are you a running team with Chuba Hubbard and hopefully Rico Dowdle? Although if I'm Rico with that game plan, I'm not touching Carolina. If you can't use me in the biggest moments, I'll find somebody that can, and I promise you there's a team out there that will.
Oh, yeah.
Are you a run-heavy team with a quarterback that just has to not steer the ship into the rocks? Are you going to be a defensive team? If you are, you're going to have to invest significantly more in the defense. And I believe you're going to need a coordinator that's not named Ajiro Avero. You play 8 yards off Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. What did you expect to happen? There are a lot of positives to take away from this season. But I could give you a graded number of examples, be it the Chicago Bears, the Cleveland Browns, the New York Jets, the Detroit Lions. I could keep doing this over the last decade or so that have had that 1 year, but they never found their identity. And that is what I would ask of the Carolina Panthers. Going into this offseason, you have a little bit of money, not a ton. You have a decent amount of draft capital, not a ton. What are you going to add to solidify your personality as an NFL team? Are you going to try to add more receivers to Teteroa and McMillan? Try to keep up with the Joneses in the spread days of the NFL? Or are you going to be that run-heavy team? To me, it doesn't really matter. I don't care what your identity is. You just need to have one. Because over the course of this season, Carolina was 10 different teams. You watch them one week, they look like one thing. You watch them the next week, and it's completely different.
Yep.
That's where the inconsistency comes from. That's where the strange losses and the shocking victories come from. I fully believe Dave Canales is the right coach for this team. I think you have your coach. I think you have your quarterback. I believe they're going to kick in the fifth-year option for Bryce Young this offseason and possibly even work to an extension. Not for $50 million, because Bryce Young's not a $50 million quarterback at this point. But if you told me it was $25, $30 million, I'd try to lock him in before he hopefully takes a star turn. I'll go a good amount of guaranteed money on the front side. I'm okay with every one of those things. Because for the first time in several years, I feel like Carolina is trending in the right direction. And the one thing that you cannot be in the NFL, don't be Sisyphus from Greek mythology. You push the rock up the hill, and you almost get to the top every single day.
Yep.
And then you just give out, and you pass out, and the rock rolls over you, and you're right back at the bottom of the hill pushing it back up the hill. I will caution Carolina Panther fans. I've heard a lot of you over the course of the last 48 hours say if it wasn't for Bryce Young, we could have beaten the Los Angeles Rams. My cautionary tale, if it wasn't for Bryce Young, you wouldn't have been competitive with the Los Angeles Rams.
Right, you wouldn't even be there.
With Andrew Dalton, that would have been a 2-score game easily. Bryce Young made some plays. He gave me enough hope to not just throw the baby out with the bathwater. And that's what I would caution you, Panther fan. Enjoy the good times. Look to next year. Look to growth. But don't take a failure in the playoffs as a failure in the season. This season cannot be quantified as anything but a wild success. And I implore you to remember that. He's Trey Falco. I'm Jeremy Greene. This is 104.9 FM Fox Sports Upstate. You're in overtime. Brought to you by Ingles Markets. Find them online, ingles-markets.com. Ingles Markets, low prices, love the savings. After this commercial break, we have a kickoff, Monday Night Football, and we have a lot of wild card football to discuss. We're looking for your calls, 864-240-5480. I'm Jeremy Greene. This is Overtime, and we'll be back right after this.
Since 1934, IPTAY has been the backbone of Clemson athletics, uniting all Tigers in support of our student athletes, from scholarships that pave the way for success to state-of-the-art facilities that fuel competition. Your contribution helps build a brighter future for Clemson student athletes, both in competition and beyond. Whether you're in Clemson or miles away, you can be part of the Clemson family. Join the IPTAY team that's been thriving for over 90 years. Call 1-800-CLEMSON or visit ClemsonTigers.com/IPTAY to join now.
Feeling the chill in the air? Warm up with a taste of Louisiana at the Lost Cajun. Savor our mouth-watering gumbo, creamy lobster bisque, and spicy jambalaya. Visit us in downtown Greenville or on Pelham Road. The Lost Cajun, where every bite is a trip to the bayou.
The misinformation and miscommunication surrounding health and science are almost laughable. So why not laugh about it?
The toilet is like our refuge. Your toilet is your only place where you get to escape.
It's a new year, new start, and a hilarious
If your
podcast,
toilet's
Health
the only
Stuff,
place you
is taking
escape,
a new
we need
look
to talk
at
about your
health.
hobby.
This is a show about the basics of health.
What?
I said if your toilet's the only place you escape, we need to talk about your hobbies.
Where did that come from?
It was that commercial that just aired.
Oh, sorry. I had I had it down.
If that's your only escape, we need to talk. You need a hobby.
Yeah.
You need a hobby badly.
Comfort and style. Touring models are in stock and are ready to roll. Visit us at 30 Chrome Drive in Greenville or online at upstateharley.com. Harley Davidson in Greenville, where your next chapter begins on 2 wheels.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
We didn't have
Undo
anybody
your
waiting on the
flu
line,
with
right?
NyQuil Intense Flu.
kind of on a roll
NyQuil
there.
Intense Flu.
No. It's been pretty quiet.
Okay.
Even on the text line, we don't have anybody right now.
We need to make that happen.
I was going to say, you may want to give it out again once we come back.
I can do it.
People are listening to the radio on iHeart today than they were 20 years ago. And only iHeart Broadcast Radio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, social.
We had somebody calling in when Randy was on, but I thought they'd try and call back, but they never did.
Number of consumers who hear your
10-4,
message
I'll give them
times
both
the
out when we
response
come
rate
back.
equals the result.
Okay.
Get those results growing for your business. Radio's here now more than ever, and iHeart's leading the way. Think radio can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, podcasting, and radio, where the reach is real. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Or call 844-844-iHeart. One more time, just call 844-844-iHeart and get radio working for you.
Actually bought. They were always just with somebody else. They were like the hash browns of the early 2000s for me.
Right. That's like the optimal way to view Chevelle, I guess.
It was
Tacked
never
on to
who I
somebody
was
else.
after, but it was always on a ticket that somehow I wound up with. You're in overtime. He's Trey Falco. I'm Jeremy Greene. Call-in lines open 864-240-5480. You can also get a hold of us on the text line 864-777-9593. I believe we have a caller on line one. Caller, who's this?
Hey, Jeremy, it's Dave. How are you?
How are you, Dave?
Oh, I'm living the dream. I just wanted to see if you could just reiterate something you guys had on the Sportsocracy not too long ago. Unfortunately, too many people around me, they're okay with the status quo. But you know what? We're 9-8, we're 10-6, whatever the thing is. As long as we're not picking in the top 5, can you just reiterate, please, for these guys, maybe use smaller words, that sometimes a change is needed to get to where you need to be. Get outside your comfort zone. Please, for the love of God, get rid of some of these guys who have been there forever, who have clearly reached their cap. I appreciate you both. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dave. And you've got a great point. Look, we're watching a team right now. The Pittsburgh
that's what he was
Steelers.
talking about.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, they did not go 3 and out. They had a decent little start to the drive, and it flamed out around midfield.
Yep.
The Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers have been virtually the same team for the last half decade.
It's like the Spider-Man meme.
The difference was that Baltimore had the high-end talent to expect if we get there, we have a chance.
Right.
My issue with Pittsburgh is that they've become very complacent with 10-7. The example that I gave was it's like being in a relationship with somebody that's not nice to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she yells at me at the dinner table. Yeah, she doesn't let me go out with my friends. Yeah, she says not nice things about me, but it's better than being alone. That's the same premise that 9-8 teams in the NFL that are perpetually 9-8, perpetually 10-7. They're so scared they're going to crater out and go 5-12 that we'll just stick with what we have.
Right.
Good teams don't do that. And I will caution you, I've heard all of the talk today about Matt LaFleur and Green Bay's working towards an extension.
Oh, yeah.
Does this strike you as strange? Does this strike you as strange that they haven't reached one yet? You know why? Because you embarrassed them. You embarrassed them on national television against their biggest rival. You get out 21-3. It should have been 35-3. And then you let the coach of your biggest rival absolutely dunk on you at midfield because you allowed them to come back and beat you. Good teams don't stand for that. They'll bring back Matt LaFleur on their terms. If it's not on their terms, they'll move on. They'll call John Harbaugh. They'll call Jeff Hafley, the sitting defensive coordinator. They won't just sit back and be okay with 10-7. We didn't pay $55 million a year for a quarterback just to be complacent, sitting at 9-8, 9-6-1, or 9-7-1, I suppose.
Yeah.
10-7. That's not why we paid big boy money. We paid big boy money because we want big boy results. Now, you do have to understand where your team is. In the NFL at any given time, there are 8 teams that fall into 4 completely different categories. Every year you have about 8 to 10 teams that can win a Super Bowl every year. You have another 8 to 10 teams that can make the playoffs, maybe threaten for a win, but they're not really a threat.
Right.
You have 8 more that have hope, but they're not there yet. And then you have about 8 more that are just absolute disaster dumpster fires covered in dumpster juice. They're awful. That's the NFL in any given time. Never look to jump more than one step at a time. If you're growing, a la the Carolina Panthers, don't be in a hurry to make changes just to make changes. But if you're regressing, make the change. Don't be afraid. There's somebody out there that will love you. You don't have to deal with that evil, hateful woman that embarrasses you at the dinner table. The text line is open, as always, here in overtime. That number is 864-777-9593. And we have a couple texts on that line. First one from our buddy Austin. How do the Los Angeles Chargers fix whatever that was? Who is the best prospect left in the college football championship game outside of the quarterbacks? Okay, that's 2 completely different questions. I'm going to start with the CFP. My best prospects in the national title game between Miami and Indiana, Francis Maui-Noah, that's a right tackle, maybe a guard that plays at Miami. I think he's a top 5 talent. In the draft, I love players that can't miss. If you told me right now you could confirm that Francis Maui-Noah would have 2 feet, 2 knees, 2 arms, 2 hands, and a head 15 years from now, that kid's going to make Pro Bowls. Don't be worried about what position he plays. In this draft class, you're going to have a lot of that. So for me, it's Maui-Noah, it's Reuben Bain, the edge rusher from Miami, kind of a tweener, but really good pass rush juice. I don't know exactly what position he plays, but I know in the NFL he's going to be able to get after quarterbacks. If you're looking to Indiana, Elijah Surratt, the wide receiver who I am in love with. That kid is just so good. His high side's not as high as Betcher that will be the one next year. He also can't hear colors, which I'm pretty sure Betcher can. My grandfather used to have a phrase, he looks like a 67 Chevy with the doors open. That kid's got some he's got some big old ears. But man, he's a good football player. As for the Chargers fix what that was. You need Joe Alt and you need Rashawn Slater to be healthy. No team in the NFL can withstand a former first-round pick at left tackle, a former first-round pick at right tackle, both going down in the same year.
Yeah.
They just don't exist.
How do you feel about Herbert? I feel like every year we talk about Herbert, there's always, what's the word I'm looking for? Not an excuse, but there's always this caveat like, oh, well, he had tackles down, or it's oh, well, the receiving core is, oh, well, I feel like it's always, oh, well, but.
Well, I think Justin Herbert is a rare physical specimen. I don't necessarily think he's a rare quarterback. You also look at the fact he's on a team that has a history of not being able to cash it in. You had Dan Fouts that put up historic numbers. You had Phillip Rivers. You had Drew Brees before that. And now you got Justin Herbert. I'm not overly surprised. I think Justin Herbert falls into a category that the vast majority of quarterbacks in the NFL fall into, which is I can get you to a certain level, but I need the other pieces around me to fill it out. Look, Trevor Lawrence was a historic can't-miss prospect. He didn't look like that until all of a sudden he had Brian Thomas Jr., Jacoby Myers, Travis Hunter, Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, Bashal Tootin, Travis Etienne. That's when this guy looked like that generational quarterback. That's not an accident. He was always a good prospect, but he does need help. I think there's a lot of similarities between Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert. If you get him the pieces around him, he can be that guy. Instead, you give him Ladd McConkey and 34-year-old Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnston, who's allergic to footballs half the time. He just doesn't have the pieces around him. Now, that's not giving him a pass. Josh Allen doesn't have the pieces around him. He found a way to win.
He's making it work. Yeah.
Because Josh Allen is elite. Justin Herbert's just very good. Call-in line's open, and I believe we have a caller on line one. Caller, who is this?
Hey, Jeremy, this is Rocky calling.
Hey, Rocky, how are you?
I'm doing well. Hope you are. I got a question about the draft, since you're talking about it. I pull for the Panthers, but they're not really my team. Washington's my team, and they need so much help, and they're so old. My question to you is, since you're talking about the draft, it's not a great quarterback draft. What do you feel is the best part of the draft, position-wise, whatever it may be, that those teams that have certain needs, whatever they may be, what's going to be the best part of the draft from top to bottom, position-wise, in your opinion? And I'll hang up and listen.
We appreciate you, Rocky. And as a Washington fan, this is a great time to tell you. 2 weeks from Friday night, or actually a week from Friday night, apologies, on YouTube, you can find us at the Sportsocracy. I will be doing a panel with a couple former Washington Commanders live from Dallas.
Oh, wow.
We're doing a big live show. Logan Paulson, a handful of my friends from the Commanders. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're very much looking forward to it. Now, as for the question that you asked me, what is the best part of this draft? I call these lunch pail drafts because you have a lot of guys that are really, really talented. The high side of this, I get so irritated when I hear people say, well, I've only got 11 first-round grades. A, that's not true. If it is, you're not very good at this. B, there are a lot of really talented players that are maybe not going to make – they're not going to be all pros, but they'll be legit Pro Bowlers. They'll be legit starters in this league, plus starters. I think you've got a handful of good offensive linemen. Receiver is insanely deep. You're going to get starting level wide receivers in day 2, maybe even in a day 3, depending on how this falls. I think there are a lot of linebackers in this class. There's a lot of really talented defensive linemen. Corner is a bit thin. It's good at the top, but it gets thin in a hurry. Caleb Downs, the safety, is one of the best players I've ever evaluated. His high side's Ed Reed. His low side is probably Rod Woodson. That's probably as much of a kudos to any player as I can give. It's really deep. You're going to get a lot of good players, maybe just not the splashy names, because quarterback is really bleak. As for where this class lacks, it's not really good at running back. Last year was a prodigious running back class. I don't think the interior of the line is particularly good. They're value guys. I'm afraid they're going to go a little higher than they should, which does kind of skew a class. And then corner, as I said, it's good at the top, but it thins out in a hurry. One name to watch, just because we're talking about this, Chris Johnson, cornerback out of San Diego State. I was watching some of that tape this morning, and that kid's real good at football, and I haven't heard anybody on the national landscape talk about him much at all. It's just that simple. That's how you get involved in the conversation. We appreciate you, Rocky. Always appreciate you listening to Overtime here on Fox Sports Upstate, 104.9 FM. You can get involved just like Rocky did. 864-240-5480. That's our call-in line. Also got the text line open, 864-777-9593. We have a couple texts to get to, but we have to take a quick commercial break. We'll get to those when we get back. This is Overtime, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I got to fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious?
I feel like I may be talking too fast.
Away for cheaper gas?
I'm just trying to get a lot in a very short period.
You just subconsciously tried to blast through it all?
I'm just don't even breathe. Just keep going.
You got to come up for air sometime.
Just keep going. It's only an hour. You got to get 2 hours worth of stuff in 50 minutes.
Right. Content. No, you actually, I don't think you're rushing too bad.
We just brought in a new girl that she just graduated journalism school.
Oh, nice.
She's so unbelievably talented. And today's her first day. She's kind of messing with some of our content. And she sent me a message. She's like, you guys talk about a lot of stuff.
Yes, you do.
Well, we have two people that talk like we got Alex Jones and Jim Cramer from Mad Money. And that's what you get for 3 hours every day. So the only thing you have to be careful of, will jump topics at just absolutely a second's notice.
Yeah. I think Randy called you out on your Herbert analysis.
Let's see. Yeah, I agree with what Randy said there. I'm not gonna lie. When I read "well butted," I misinterpreted what that meant, and I'm not. Sure
yeah.
I'm not sure how I'm gonna say that in the Bible Belt, but once I read to the end. Now I get it.
John said worse.
Oh, for sure.
I probably said worse.
Oh, dude, we had 30 minutes of completely off the rail radio today that if any of the bosses listened to, we would have had a very uncomfortable meeting with HR.
So about this air check.
I'm 6 years in and I've never been asked for one. So,
hey, I knock on wood, I hadn't either.
Hey, the former boss listens to the show, so if it got too off the rails, I feel like he'd probably tell us.
Who?
Brian Hall.
Oh, okay. I don't know why my mind immediately went to Bill McMartin.
Bill listens to the show, too.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Usually, the crazier I go, the more likely he is to go, yeah, keep doing that. And I appreciate that.
I love Bill.
I do, too. How long do we have right here?
Yeah, 1 minute.
10-4.
Big savings on commonly prescribed.
I got a little distracted. I started watching the
GoodRx
game.
is free and easy to
completely
use.
lost context.
GoodRx is accepted at all major.
I'm trying to not do that.
Then show your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx is not insurance, but it works whether you have insurance or not. If you do, GoodRx may beat your copay price. Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com to save today.
Now that a new year is here, start 2026 by showing your gratitude. iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose, celebrating the incredible impact of public school educators. Nominate an outstanding teacher in your life.
I love the Aaron
above
Rodgers
and beyond to be among the winners of $5,000 to stock their classroom. Teachers give their time, money, and hearts to help students succeed. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future. Get all the info and nominate a teacher who goes the extra mile today at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
You're back in overtime. I'm Jeremy Greene at the NFL Draft Nerd on Twitter. He is Trey Falco, Pittsburgh Steelers fan extraordinaire. How you feeling? We're not even quite 10 minutes in. Still nothing.
Yeah, it's I feel like it's looked pretty good on both sides of the ball, honestly, for both teams. Like, I know that's the diplomatic answer, but legitimately, I'm looking at it like, okay, like, I don't know that I really have a clear favorite right now sitting here just watching it. Pittsburgh's making a drive, but then C.J. Stroud just had an amazing pass that last drive. So they're kind of, I don't know, it's blow for blow right now.
The longer this stays 0-0, the better it is for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
100%.
Trey, have you gotten used to that Aaron Rodgers look?
When he's looking at the jumbo or whatever scoreboard,
it's like
he's got this like
he just looks at his receiver and he looks like the under 9 third base coach that's looking at his third baseman that's eating a worm out of the dirt.
It's the ayahuasca eyes. That's what it is.
What are you doing? And he does it even when it was his fault. That's what kills me.
That's the one that gets me. Yeah, when he throws, and I'm looking at it like, what are you doing, Aaron? And he stares down this receiver, and I'm like, hold on now. That's not their fault.
He just had one to Jonnu Smith, who was matched up with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant used to play corner. He's a safety now.
Right.
He's running with him stride for – actually, I think it's Miles Bryant, not Kobe Bryant. He's running with him stride for stride. He was never open.
No.
Aaron just launches it over his head and looks at him like, what are you doing?
You can't jump 9 feet in the air and catch that? What's wrong with you?
It's like, Aaron, you know what he did? What you told him to do.
Right.
He just wasn't open. You just didn't care.
Yeah.
This is Overtime. Our phone lines are open, 864-240-5480. You can also get involved on the text line, 864-777-9593. Our buddy Soaring Eagle, he did just that, talking about his Broncos. I knew that we weren't going to get either of these two playing right now. So knowing that, and this is going to sound insane, I actually was more scared of getting Los Angeles, talking about the Chargers, than I was of getting Buffalo. Take a look at my concerns. Riley Moss, Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things, though he doesn't have a great arsenal, and James Cook. That's it. L.A., our only advantage is it's in Denver because Herbert has Bo Nix's number. We're 0-3 against Herbert with Bo. They have a much better coach than McDermott. Herbert has a much better arsenal, and the defense has been real hot lately. I still think this is losable if we're not careful, but I like our chances a lot more than if we got L.A. Oh, and by the way, we can eliminate one of those concerns very easily. Just start Jahdae Barron. You know, that guy you took in the first round? One of the
I remember that guy.
Corner. You know, you've had a problem at corner, and it's weird that you just don't play the one you drafted. That's one of those things I've never understood. The coach is like, I don't play rookies. I make them earn their playing time.
Tomlin.
So, but why?
Right. You drafted him for a reason.
You get a first-round pick every year. By this time, there are no rookies left. You should probably be playing that guy.
Right.
Makes a lot of sense. Randy L., he was commenting on something I said about those Los Angeles Chargers. He said, I think Jeremy just well-butted the Herbert answer. He even started with, answer, he doesn't elevate a squad. Upper mid-tier quarterback. I can't disagree with anything you said. See, to me, the quarterback pantheon in the NFL, you have the guys that make everyone around them better.
Yes.
Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar. End of message. Then you get into that next tier, and to me, they're way closer to each other than they are to the top four. That, for me, is kicked off with Jaden Daniels. It's got C.J. Stroud in it, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert. Those guys are kind of beholden to what's around them. If you don't give them anything, whether it's offensive line, weapons, running game, they're not going to live up to their potential. I would think that was common sense, but it blows my mind how many teams just look at the assisting pieces, whether it's wide receivers, running backs. I will just get one of those eventually.
Right.
We'll
get it on down the line. Yeah.
The Las Vegas Raiders, they kill me every year. You drafted Brock Bowers and went, we're good.
Yeah.
But we got Ashton Genty. Well, he's terrible. Don't care. Just keep running him up there at 2.8 yards a carry.
Oh, but Michael Myers' stance. It's cool. It's quirky.
Ashton, I said this until I was blue in the face last year. I had a Marion Hampton ahead of Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
And people kept telling me, what are you just don't get it. You're a hater of, no. You play in a lower level of football, and he's the best player at that level. If you had put him at Penn State, he would not have looked like that.
Right.
And what you saw of him this year in the NFL, he didn't look like that. Randy also said, just by the math, aren't your top 32 rated prospects each year first-round grades? That never made sense to me. 32 guys are going to be picked there. So for me, at least, that gets into the grade that I give them. You have to be over a 9 for me to be a first-round grade. There will be 32 guys that go. That doesn't mean there are 32 first-round picks.
Right.
I understand the premise of what you're saying. I just didn't grade them as first-rounders. That's where, if I'm a team picking at 25, all of my first-round grades are gone, I'm trying to get out. I don't even have to get fair compensation for it. I'm just trying to get out. Give me more picks. Give me more bites at the apple. Trey, it was a wild weekend in the NFL. We started with Carolina, who we talked about earlier, against the Los Angeles Rams. Then we get the nightcap of the tales of a two halves between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. I mean what I'm getting ready to say and I can prove that this happened. Green Bay went up 21-3. I was sitting in a restaurant in Asheville. I saw the score. The game felt like it was 35-3.
Yeah.
I dropped a significant wager on the Chicago Bears in the money line. You don't let teams hang around like that, because when you do, very bad things can happen, especially when you have a mediocre quarterback. Then we get yesterday, Buffalo Bills, Jacksonville Jaguars, absolute slugfest that went largely how I said it was going to. Give me the better quarterback. Give me the more experienced quarterback in the playoffs. That guy finds a way to win. Specifically with a 10-yard tush-push. That is the first time I have ever seen a quarterback just picked up and carried 10 yards. That was the first. I think we're officially done with that, right? Like, Philadelphia doesn't even like using this anymore.
Right.
They were the ones fighting for it. And even they look at it and go, we'll sprinkle it in. We'll get a little pitchy woo-woo. Maybe a little reverse. Get a pass out to Dallas Goedert. But the tush-push as it sits, it's really dead. Speaking of Philadelphia, anybody shocked that they found a way to bow out early? Because I'm not. Weird. We said the offense was a problem from week 2 on. You got into the playoffs, and the offense was a problem. That goes kind of to the point that caller made earlier.
Got another text.
Of sometimes you just have to pull the ripcord. And Nick Sirianni should have pulled the ripcord on Kevin Patullo 6 weeks into the season.
Mm-hmm.
We all knew it was an issue. It was abundantly obvious to anybody that watched that team. The offense is clunky. The offense doesn't make sense. He is not using the players on this team to the best of their abilities. Jalen Hurts is a quarterback that has to be propped up. This year you didn't do it. You're fighting with A.J. Brown on the sidelines.
Yep.
Nick Sirianni goes into next year on the hot seat. Fact or fiction?
Fact. If he makes it to next year, I feel like Eagles fans have wanted him gone for years, but
I've wanted him gone for years.
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni, to me, is living proof that old Bill Parcells line of "you are what your record says you are" is a complete myth. It is a complete fallacy. We have a crazy play in the Steelers-Texans game. I can't comment on it yet, but give me a second and I will. Just because you've won a Super Bowl doesn't mean you're a great coach. Nick Sirianni was born on third base and acts like he hit a triple.
Yeah.
You have the best GM in football. You have one of the best ownership groups in football. You have one of the most talented rosters I've ever seen. And yet 2 out of the last 3 years, you found a way to absolutely just crash it into the rocks and not make it out of the opening weekend. That doesn't tell me you're a good coach. It tells me you have a great GM that, in spite of your ineptitude, always gives you an opportunity to win.
Mm-hmm.
They win in spite of you, not because of you. It's 3-0, 2:02 left in the first quarter. Pittsburgh Steelers. Trey, did you happen to see what just transpired?
You know, it's crazy because I watched that and all I could think about were your Jets.
Oh, why did we have to throw my Jets into this?
Because it just, you go, which I don't think that was ruled an I don't know what the ruling on the field was. I can't hear it.
That was an interception.
Yeah, okay, that's okay. You get big old YA Black coming in to pick that off. A lineman. The Jets couldn't get one?
No. The Pittsburgh Steelers just got an interception from a 350-pound defensive tackle. The New York Jets played 17 defensive backs this year. Not one of them did that. C.J. Stroud gets his hand hit on the drawback. Ball goes up in the air. It would have been a fumble. We didn't even get that far because it never touched the ground.
It was
a pick. Pittsburgh has the ball back. This game is going eerily how I was how I thought it would for Pittsburgh.
Now, I will say, 95 didn't look like, hey, he got clocked head on by Jack Sawyer, so I'm curious to see what they say coming back.
Yeah, I think we're probably okay.
Yeah. It looked bad in slow motion.
It did not look pretty. This whole game has not looked pretty. And
no, which I could have told you that.
The grosser this is, the better it is for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, yeah. That's where they want to be.
I told you last week in Can I Pick That Dog? I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers. You give me a veteran quarterback in the playoffs, and I'm always going to lean into it. It tends to go well because that quarterback knows how to win. C.J. Stroud, he's still figuring out how to win in the playoffs. And with no running game and only one receiver that he really trusts, you have very little room for error.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was the best week of playoff football I've ever seen.
Oh, it was so good.
We had, 8 minutes of football that didn't really matter?
Yep.
Over the course of yesterday, until New England took their final lead, we had not had a play of football that was not within one score. That is unfathomable that nobody at any point led by 2 scores.
Right.
It's just a great week of football. You have a bunch of teams in this league. There are no great teams. I think the Seattle Seahawks are the best team in the league. I think the Los Angeles Rams are probably the second best team in the league. They're not great. Seattle turns the ball over a ton. Matthew Stafford's looking rather old. They're not great. And everything's wide open. To me, this feels like the NCAA tournament. Survive and advance. That's the name of the game. It's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to look like the game plan. Survive and advance. It's last call for calls. He's Trey Falco. I'm Jeremy Greene. You get involved in the conversation. Call-in lines open 864-240-5480 or hit us with a text 864-777-9593. You're in overtime, brought to you by Ingles Markets. As always, low prices, love the savings. We're back to wrap it up on a Monday right after this.
Let's get physical, upstate.
The Gilstrap Family Dealerships here.
We're tired of giving up our New Year's resolution.
You got one last text on the text line. And there goes DK dropping a pass again.
TN4. Oh, yeah. Y'all have cable in the studio, don't you?
Yeah, we do, yeah.
I didn't even see it. You said it, and it had already happened on my screen.
Oh, okay. So I always heard DK was really good. Has he always had problems with his hands?
Yes.
Okay. Because good God.
Yes, he's always had, and it's not that he has bad hands. He has notorious issues with concentration drops like that. He just turns his head.
Gotcha, okay.
He starts looking upfield before he secures the ball.
That makes sense.
He did it at Ole Miss all the time.
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, it's been a problem this year.
DK was one of those guys that we argued about during his draft process. Because he was so big. I mean, he looks like a Terminator.
Yeah, he does. He's huge.
The dude's giant. And he can fly. It's just his hands were all, and he was always a head case.
Well, yeah. Perfect
He's a
Steeler.
head case back to high school. We argued about him and argued about him and argued about him.
That's funny.
Because everybody wanted to put him in the first round. I was like, there is no way a team gives him a fifth-year option.
Where'd he end up going? Like round-wise?
He went in round 2, like 52?
52,
49, something like that.
Somewhere around. I'm trying to think where we picked up Pickens.
About the same spot.
Yeah. I'd still take DK over Pickens, though.
Commanders for Life said DK has a problem with his hands unless it's with a fan. That might be my favorite comment of the day. So that's fantastic.
Although I do kind of wish DK and GP, the crash outs would have been insane.
Oh, it would have been the fights in practice.
Yeah, I'd pay good money to see that.
Everything else was nuts. All right, I'll hit this. How long do I have? Like 2 minutes?
About 3.5.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you got a little bit of time.
All right, just count me down in my ear because I don't have I don't think my clock is synced up to yours.
That's fine. 60-30 and the 10 work?
Yes.
Do you need me to count the 10 like Rich, or just give you 10?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
No, I'm good. Yeah,
I got about 8 seconds.
Okay. Usually I have my hour
The Dan
computer,
Patrick
but
Show.
I think
Weekdays
sitting in my-
beginning at 9
I
on
think it's sitting
Fox
the other side of the
Sports
building.
Upstate.
That's fine.
The verdict's certainly not in yet. It's 3-0. Pittsburgh Steelers with the lead. We're all rooting for you, Trey Falco.
Thank you. I'm telling you, this game 6-3 is my prediction.
I said first one to 16 wins.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
And up here in North Carolina, we can make those legal wagers. And I'm not going to lie, my DraftKings balance and my DraftKings week is hedging on the under.
Oh, okay.
38
I think you're going to get it.
That felt like free money, and I'm scared to death to say that. We have a follow-up on an earlier text. This is Soaring Eagle, who's talking about the Broncos. He said, so we got your rant on Jahdae Barron. Was everything else I said stupid or not? No, I don't agree with you in terms of the Chargers were so killed offensive line-wise that I think Nick Bonito would have eaten them alive. I don't want to see the veteran quarterback in the playoffs because they've seen everything. Josh Allen has seen practically every scenario. He's had the lead late. He's had a big lead late. He's had to come from behind. He's done it all. Now he hasn't gotten to a Super Bowl, but in terms of every scenario he can see, that's the guy I don't want to play against. Justin Herbert doesn't scare me. To Randy's point earlier, he's a mid-tier quarterback that doesn't elevate anybody. So I understand what you're saying, especially because it's a team that Denver's played 2 times this season. If I were Denver, I would not have wanted to see Buffalo here. I feel like Denver is going to get caught in the crosshairs. I've said I thought we were on crash course for New England Buffalo for several weeks now, and nothing changed this week.
Yep.
New England gets whoever wins this game. I don't think either one of them can beat New England, and I like Buffalo. I know Denver will be loud. I know that stadium will be nuts, but I get Josh Allen. And in these biggest of moments, I want the better quarterback. That's where I've leaned here tonight. It's the reason that I like the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're up 3-0 going into the second quarter. Aaron Rodgers is nowhere near the quarterback that he once was.
Got 1 minute.
C.J. Stroud just absolutely muffed a fumble.
Yeah.
This is what happens to these quarterbacks in these situations. These moments are big. If you were ever athletic and you played in big scenarios, you remember state playoffs, you remember rivalry games. You get that pit in your stomach and the ball's a little heavier. I remember playing basketball. The ball felt heavier. It felt like a medicine ball trying to shoot 3-pointers in those biggest games. And that's where I think you go with C.J. Stroud. It's what I'm afraid of out of Bo Nix. I wanted to see it out of Drake May, and Drake answered the call. And now we're 1 game away from the final 8 in the NFL. And I'll be honest with you, any team left has a chance to be your Super Bowl champion. He's Trey Falco. I'm Jeremy Greene. This is Overtime. Join us every Monday, 7 o'clock. We'll be back with you next Monday for a full 2 hours in the Overtime, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings.
I have heart failure, and being out of breath all the time was just too much.
My lower back pain was interrupting.
All right.
Woo! That was
fast.
that was an hour of chaos.
Yeah, it was. I think we had just the right amount of calls and text.
I do too. And everything sounded good on your end?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. The headache of not next Monday but the following one is, so the game in Dallas is Tuesday night. I have to get to the practices in Mobile for Tuesday morning. So I'm going to have to do this show have everything packed up, head to the airport, fly from Dallas to New Orleans, and then drive that last hour and a half to Mobile, get checked into the hotel, and then be up for practices at 7 a.m. the next day.
Jesus.
Oh, dude, the schedule's nuts. Megan's traveling with me. I was like, I'm telling you, you're getting a trial by fire because this might be the most evil schedule I've ever tried for 10 days. And it's her first one.
Oh, wow.
I was like, you hold up to this one, and you have already...
It's only up from here.
You're already a veteran in a month because this one
right.
evil. But it'll be fun. I'm very much looking forward to it. I appreciate your patience with all of the things and all of the acclimating, but I will be down there probably next Monday and Tuesday. I think I'm going to stay at Aloft next Monday night.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then be in there for Tuesday. I'd like to get Jeff situated before I leave for Dallas because I'm gone for like 11 days.
Yeah.
So I'd like
talking about Jeff?
Yeah. He called me earlier. I want that dude to...
Oh, about his track chat?
Yeah. I just want him to be able to do what he wants to do.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's awesome.
And you know what?
Jeff's good people, man.
100% he is. And if there's a possibility that I just pick up the sponsorship on it. I don't even know for what. I think I would run maybe the draft website. I don't even know. I've thought about just picking, I mean, the time's like $500 a month. I've thought about just picking it up myself.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Because it's bought programming, so I mean, I feel very sure if I bought it like that, I could sell it the same way I do Ingles. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, I made it to 9:01, and frankly, I'm shocked at 12:25 this morning when I realized that 21 hours was staring me in the face. I didn't know that I was going to make it to this.
Yeah. But here we are.
Here we are. Well, brother, safe travels, and I will talk to you next week. I will be in the whole day next week, and we'll get...
Okay, sounds good.
Hopefully, I'll get a little time with Rich, a little time with John, if he wants that, you and Jeff. So,
next week, Martin Luther King.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was why. I was
they
staying
probably
down
won't be
there.
here.
That's why I was staying down there because I knew they would be in on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I remember now. My sleep deprived brain's not working. So that makes all.
Now
that
Rich might be in. He's talking about taking Wednesday off and doing Monday instead because he's got to call a game on Wednesday.
That's probably not a terrible idea.
Yeah,
I'll shoot him a text if he's going to be in. I might come down before. See, the problem is I still can't get in the building. So if Rich is not there, I'm going to have to come in after my show like I did. A couple weeks ago. So, but hopefully we're getting ready to fix that.
Fingers crossed.
100%. Well, brother, safe travels. Have a good week, and I'll talk to you Monday.
All right, man. You too.
All right, brother. See you.
Bye.